Southwest region, number 10 Vanderbilt against number 7 Xavier. And the bracket so far, two teams have already advanced to the second round, Iowa State and Cincinnati. Evening, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with my partner Quinn Buckner, Xavier and Vandy. And when you look at this Xavier team, Quinn, they truly have a dynamic duo.
They've got a duo for sure, Gus. They've got two guys who've known each other since 7th grade, so they have a very good feel. Gary Lumpkin and Lenny Brown are two guys that know what each other likes to do, how they like to do it. Defensively, you can sense that what the other one is going to do. There, Lumpkin starts it. Brown is the one that gets it, pushes it up, and finishes it. As I said, they just have a sense for where the other needs to be, and they get there and support one another, I think, extremely well.
Vanderbilt finished 19-11 in the SEC this season. Their leading scorer, Pax Whitehead, a kid that transferred out of the Ivy League from Cornell, and now he's here succeeding at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he is, and what has happened with him is he's a guy that can get out, strange-looking shot, but he can shoot it with range. Jan Van Bredekoff lets him shoot it, so they know that when they have to get baskets, he's the one that'll get it for him, because what he can do is he can finish as well as shoot the jump shot.
All right, the starting lineups. First of all, for Vanderbilt, keep your eye on Drew Maddox. He leads the team in assists. However, he is the three-point specialist for this team, and they are coached by Jan Van Bredekoff, who is in his 4th season, a Vanderbilt graduate, also was the SEC Player of the Year when he came out. For Xavier, you know about the backcourt, but Teray Braggs, a great inside presence, double figures in 12 straight games. And their coach, Skip Prosser, his 3rd season as the head coach at Xavier. He spent 8 years as an assistant under Pete Gillen. Vanderbilt comes into the game 19-11. They finished 9-7 in SEC play. Meanwhile, for Xavier, 22-5 overall on the season, 13-3 in the Atlantic 10, and they won the regular season West title. And the officials, Teddy Valentine, Duke Etzel, and John Sweeney. Vanderbilt will be in the gold uniforms and Xavier in the white. And we're underway from the Palace here in Auburn Hills.
So you'll see right away that Xavier come out and get after you man-to-man. All of the guys can cover on the perimeter, so they'll be aggressive.
Here's Maddox. Leaves his feet, jump pass to Bates. Inside, Whitehead looks for Despaltro, no call. T.J. Johnson with the rebound. Lumpkin. He'll push it up the floor.
And that's what Xavier wants to do. They'll guard tough on the defensive end, but they're quick to push it back. They'll be looking at a little bit of a matchup zone on the part of Vanderbilt. They want to match up, which means stay on the guy with the ball, kind of find the other people as you need to.
Braggs posting up, knocked out of bounds. Bates got a hand on it, and the Musketeers will hold on.
The other thing that zone does for them, Gus, is it takes away a little of the pressure on the guards to have to guard either Brown or Lumpkin, who can pretty much get where they need to get.
Johnson changed his shot inside and got the roll.
But look at that body. Johnson's got a body. I mean, the body reminds me of Larry Johnson at the same stage in college. It was a big one with a big, strong lower body.
6'7", 250 junior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Maddox from the corner. Short. Scramble for the ball. Johnson with his 2nd rebound. Here's Williams, 2-on-1. Lumpkin, finger roll to the basket.
And a tough finger roll because he had to jump around the defense that's set up to take the charge.
Rather, Lenny Brown with the basket, 4-0 now. Brown, the leading scorer, 15 points a game. Inside, Bates. And Austin Bates, a junior from Waverly, Tennessee, with his first 2.
Yeah, but he's comfortable on that block down there. Get your breath, because they move it up. I'll tell you, Xavier keeps it going. The Musketeers love to have that tempo moving.
Here's Braggs holding it up by T.J. Johnson, calling for the ball inside. Despaltro in front of him.
And Despaltro is a strong, athletic player. So though Johnson has a great lower body, he won't easily move Despaltro.
6'9", 250. Lumpkin, 2 on the shot clock, knocked out of bounds. And a shot clock violation. So the zone being implemented by Vanderbilt causing some confusion early on for Xavier.
Yeah, I didn't think the recognition was very good, and it cost them a shot that time. But they'll get it next time because these two young people have been watching a lot of basketball.
Whitehead got to the basket. Leaned in. Offensive foul.
Gus, that's as good a team defense as you can ask for. Skip Prosser has his guys in position. They play psyched up right now.
So Vandy now showing the 2-2-1 full court press. They get it to Brown on the left side. Burst of speed. Got in deep. And he'll roll it in again. But an offensive foul.
Yeah, it was one of those decisions that he almost needed to pull up because you're driving on a zone, and that's always difficult. Bates is standing under the basket, and just basically he stands there. For whatever reason, Brown chose not to go left to right, got himself an offensive foul.
Outlet pass and a foul. Austin Bates had somehow snuck in front of the field and got to the basket. And for the Musketeers, they play in the Atlantic 10, located in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they received an at-large bid. They're 6-2 against teams in the tournament this season. And Lenny Brown, not a good sign for Xavier, picks up his second foul with 17:35 to go here in the first half of play.
You know, it looked to me almost as Lenny Brown. I said that Xavier was psyched. I think he was a little too psyched. And he kind of lost perspective, and that's why he started running over people, picking up fouls. The second one he had to get just to protect the team from allowing an easy basket to happen.
Picked up 2 quick ones in less than 30 seconds. Misses the second. Sherwin Anderson, senior from Brooklyn, New York, in the game now for Xavier. Inside, Braggs off the glass and in.
I'm telling you, that was a tough catch because the ball was thrown too hard, and Braggs with soft hands not only catches it but puts it in the basket.
He's a junior out of Fresno, California. Whitehead can't hang on. Saved by Bates. Tried to knock it off of Johnson, and it's recovered by the Musketeers. Here's Anderson. Really speeding up the tempo. Lumpkin off the back of the iron. Hustles down his own rebound. In the corner, baseline jump shot, and good.
Here's where Vanderbilt's having a problem. The game is starting to become athletic. And if it's athletic, there are more athletes right now on the side of Xavier than there is on Vandy.
Darnell Williams with the basket. The foul to Spoutro.
Vandy doesn't want to keep running like this.
8-5 the score. Remember, Vandy plays in the SEC, so they have seen this kind of tempo before in the form of the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, but even when you take a look at the profile, you don't want to play Kentucky at this pace because it's something that they're accustomed to playing. Kentucky and Vanderbilt is not necessarily as comfortable doing it.
16:31 to go here in the first half of play. 8-5 our score. Xavier leading Vanderbilt. Anderson gives it to Lumpkin. Here's Braggs, got the step inside, and he'll roll it in.
Yeah, bad defensive play by Maddox to go out there after a guy who's not showing you any sign of looking at his jump shot, and you reach around him and let him go to the basket is bad.
And there's the full court pressure again. Howard Pride, a senior from Huntsville, Alabama. Spoutro, Maddox, open look. Usually he's good from that distance. Rebound, Braggs. Here's Williams, one-on-one. Jump stop, up and short.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Really love the tempo so far.
The tempo is everything here. They've got it going quickly.
Bates. And Braggs comes up with the basketball. Here's Lumpkin pushing it, crossing over. Tried to feed it inside, but stolen away by Maddox. He splits the defense. Bates to the basket, and a foul.
And a good job on the part. Maddox makes the play because I thought he got fouled almost from the time he got it. He'll have hands on him, and Maddox just plays through it. This is from playing in tough conference. Look, his arm is grabbed twice, and he just gets through there, makes the solid pass, and puts Bates on the foul line.
And when you talk about Vanderbilt playing in the SEC, they have faced a team similar to Xavier. As we mentioned, Kentucky, they lost twice to Kentucky, 82-79 at home and 58-46 as well.
The 58-46 is probably closer to where they'd like to play it, I would think. because Xavier's accustomed to running a lot of players in there and then getting the quality minutes from those players.
15 minutes, 28 seconds to go. Right now, it's a 10-7 game. 28 by 3.
And two clubs are just running up and down the court here, and Vanderbilt needed that break so they'd have a chance to rethink how they want to approach this game, because Xavier wants the tempo up. Skip Prosser's group will run, and he has gotten himself actually to the point he just brought in Brown back in the game, which I'm a little surprised he got him in early, but because he's picked up 2 fouls, they will need him later, of course.
Almost throws it out of bounds, and Lenny Brown steps on the line.
Yeah, Sherman Anderson was out of control, and he ended up just trying to make a pass. Well, Brown was setting up for a shot. Anderson was throwing to another spot, and that's what they just miscommunicated.
So Vanderbilt coming off a 64-62 loss to Ole Miss in the SEC tournament as they turn the ball over. Here's Anderson, who in his part-time serves as a Xavier player, part of the theater club in Cincinnati at Xavier.
Also got his degree in 3 years. He's now in the master's program.
Inside, nice look, Posey.
And you can see he plays with composure, and Posey is a very active scorer. Young man we watched yesterday, you can see the game comes very easily to him.
Posey sat out last season, Proposition 48. So this is actually his first year. And a foul. Take another look at the pass.
Well, it comes from Posey, and watch, Anderson beats his man Maddox. Posey just keeps moving, nothing the defense can do. They get there late, the long reach. And Posey gets it in unaffected.
So Pax Whitehead picking up his second foul, and he'll take a seat.
That's a big scoring threat that you lose when Whitehead goes to sit down.
He's replaced by James Strong, a freshman, also from Huntsville, Alabama, Butler High School. In the corner, Lenny Brown squaring up. Rebound Bates. Tiva Prater, now the point guard for Vanderbilt. He's a freshman. Almost a steal, and it is. But Strong steals it back.
You really don't think he was going to see much of Tiva because he had hurt his foot. You see another steal and another. That's a good cut. Oh!
And they say that the ball was last touched by Drew Maddox, and he can't believe the call.
Well, we saw about 4 steals potentially there, but that's the way that Xavier wants it.
So far, 5 turnovers apiece for both teams. And Posey inbounds the ball, and here comes Gary Lumpkin. Right now, Vandy in the zone. DJ Johnson bowls it in. Bragg's jump hook on the baseline. Knocked back out to Lumpkin. And it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Brown. Xavier. They lost 69-62 to Temple in the quarterfinals of the Atlantic 10 tournament. Got down early in that game, 22-6. Unable to really come back and get over the hump. John Chaney's team winning that game in Philadelphia.
And John Chaney's team is a team that if you get down to the way they play, it's going to be difficult. So Xavier just found himself in a tough position, but they've also beaten Cincinnati. So their team can beat some of the big clubs, and they have a lot of confidence in their ability to play big games.
Beat Cincinnati when the Bearcats were ranked #1 in the nation. Poked away. Johnson leans in. Offensive rebound, scramble. No whistle. Finally a whistle.
I mean, look how aggressive the play is. I mean, these guys are just playing, I mean, with so much energy. Johnson misses an easy shot there, but you see coming in looking for the rebound. It's Lumpkin, he gets it, then all of a sudden everybody just starts scratching for it.
Brown looking for Johnson inside. There's Williams in the corner now. Posey spots up.
Oh, he shot that so easily from behind the three-point line. I mean, he barely flexed his knees or his arms just to get that thing, and he shot it too hard. I mean, it shows you the kind of range he has. Van Bredekoff doing a good job trying to get his players some wind.
Strong hustles down the ball. Here's Prater. Trying to cross over. Got by inside. Got his own rebound and stuck it in.
Oh, he did a good job. I mean, he shook up real good there. And he's one that's got a sore foot. So when you talk about, if you look at that score, 19-13 first half, Fairfield leading North Carolina.
Inside and a whistle. Darnell Williams will go to the free throw line.
Williams' move there was the kind of move you like to see players be able to make, because what he was able to do, we've been talking about shot blockers there, watching Kelvin Cato have that big afternoon here. But for shot blockers or anyone coming after the shot, you need to make contact with them so they're not able to spread out. And that's exactly what happened on that play with Williams as he went to the basket. He initiated the contact, moved the ball, and replaced it, and that's how the foul occurred.
Kelvin Cato, just a monster game in our second game today, had 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 blocked shots as Iowa State held on to beat Illinois State. As a matter of fact, they had to come back to beat Illinois State. Here's Stephen Prater being bottled up in the backcourt, and a blocking foul. Darnell Williams picks up the foul. And the final score earlier this afternoon, a 3 against a 14. Cincinnati beating Butler 86-69. They will face Iowa State on Saturday. Here's Maddox trying to dribble out of the trap. They get it over the line. Prater. Baseline. Lange takes off. Can't get it to fall. Rebound Strong.
Well, he has been exactly his name. He has been strong in chasing the ball down. He went strong for that rebound.
Strong usually comes off the bench and provides a little bit of excitement for this Vanderbilt team. A spark plug. 11 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the first half of play. After a rapid start, things have cooled down. The Palace here in Auburn Hills, Michigan, where Vanderbilt and Xavier, 14-9 our score. Gus Johnson along with Quinn Buckner. And Vanderbilt coming back onto the floor. Austin Bates, really a very lucky young man. He was in a car wreck the summer between his freshman year, driving in a convertible. The car tipped over, and he basically got out of the accident with minor injuries. Maddox hitting the three. 14-12 now. Full court pressure by the Commodores.
Well, they'll go a little bit. They get the guard to basically, it's like a diamond, because they'll put a guy on the point. The other guys drop it in the middle or to the side, and they'll make sure they get that. And now they've gone to like flattened out to a little bit of a 2-3 zone. But you'll see they're very active. They'll find out where all the shooters are.
Lenny Brown, short. Whitehead leading the charge. In the corner, Maddox spotted up and hit.
Has a strange-looking shot. He'll take the arm, and it's out. It's a long pass to get to Williams.
But on the other side, Williams finishing. They get it inbounds. Lange, the freshman, 6'10", can't handle the ball. Maddox got it back. 15-footer leaning in off the glass, no good.
Got to be strong with the ball. Maddox wasn't strong, nor was he under control with that one.
Lenny Brown, they reverse it. Lumpkin, pump fake, got one step closer, count it.
I'm telling you, that was as solid basketball move as you can make. The pump fake, look like you're going left, come back, going right, come left, step in, knock it down.
DeSpaltro can't find a guard. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Maddox.
And that was a good cut. A good call by the officials. Jan Van Bredekoff was saying you got to come back to the ball. Come meet it. When you're playing against pressers, young players, you must come back and meet the ball because there's always somebody coming from the backside to get a hand on it.
3-point lead for the Musketeers as they are playing in their 9th tournament in the last 12 years. 13-3, winning the Western Division in the Atlantic 10.
They should play in a lot of them, though, Gus, because they play with like the sophomores and 2 juniors. I mean, they play with a very young team.
Lenny Brown so far playing with 2 fouls. He is cold to start. 1 of 4 from the field.
But his teammates are more than making up. I don't think they even thought they would be able to leave Vanderbilt without having more production from Brown at this stage, or at any real stage for any long period of time.
Whitehead. They get it to the center of the floor. Maddox. Prater. And it rattles down. Elsewhere, Fairfield up by 9. Maryland trailing the College of Charleston. Remember, they have the longest winning streak in the country right now. 22 straight games.
And they've come in there, Gus, College of Charleston. Unlike in past years, they believe not only that they belong, but they think that they should win some games in the tournament. So they're very proud of their record and what they can accomplish.
Inside, drags. He'll look backside. Lumpkin penetrated, lost it. Maddox straight ahead. Left-hand layup good.
Yeah, Brown was the one back, and he couldn't afford the foul. He's got 2, and he was thinking about it and wisely stayed off of it. It was a really smart play.
8 points now for Maddox. He averages 14 on the season. Johnson trying to get there, and a foul.
You see right there, Whitehead gets the ball, and Lumpkin never got control, but you'll see coming in is number 4. Yeah, that's Brown. He's got 2 fouls. Can't afford to pick up his 3rd, trying to keep a basket that really at this point they're never really insignificant, but technically that's insignificant. Don't get a foul or 3rd in the first half anyway.
So Billy DeSpaltro takes a seat. He's replaced by Dan Lange, the 6'10" freshman out of Benton, Kentucky. Vandy staying in the zone. Baseline jump shot. Lenny Brown finally.
Well, he was looking for it desperately. And I tell you, it was almost to the point, frankly, if I'm Skip Prosser, if it doesn't go down, I'd have to take Lenny Brown out because the pass he made was very lackadaisical.
Bounce pass, Bates. And a tie-up on the baseline. That's Bates.
More like a takedown on the baseline. Johnson took Bates down.
Now here's a half-court trap, changing defenses on the part of Vanderbilt. Inside, Williams snatched down by Maddox. He'll push it. Almost lost it. Got it to Bates. 13-footer, no good. Outlet pass, Braggs all by himself. Watch out.
Well, that was a good find because Johnson was looking at everything in front of him, and it looked like all the traffic was just standing still.
7:29 to go in the first half. These 2 teams really running up and down the floor. Vanderbilt accustomed to this fast pace, playing in the SEC, also playing against teams like South Carolina with their great 3-guard lineup. Knocked out of bounds, and we'll head the other way. 7:08 to go. Knotted up at 22.
Game tied at 22, first half. Jim Nance, Clark Kellogg from New York. Surprises all across the country right now. Let's get you caught up quickly. First, look at this. Fairfield in the dark uniform.
Gus Johnson. pace of this game, Quinn, has really been a fast one.
It definitely has been a fast pace. It's been one that I think Xavier likes, even though, as you mentioned, and appropriately, that Vanderbilt, having played against South Carolina, Kentucky, has played this kind of pace. So it's not like it's totally new to Vanderbilt, but I think it's just one that they would prefer not to play, given their trust. They're their own.
And we'd like to apologize for some small troubles in New York with the microphones. Meantime, really competitive game going on right now here in Auburn Hills, about 30 miles outside of downtown Detroit, home of the Detroit Pistons. 22 apiece, 6:50 to go. From the corner, high rebound, scramble. Anderson picks it up, slicing. Inside, up and under, and it's rejected by Lange. He's 6'10" with long arms.
Yeah, he's got long reach, and he can get to places just by that reach. He doesn't have to physically move, in terms of his feet.
Whitehead for three. His shot off the side of the rim. Lumpkin on the right side. Pulls up. Bang. That's a two-pointer.
Lange was the one that was right there with Lumpkin, but the big man's thought, even though Lange can handle it, is always to go back to the basket, and he left the shooter. I'm sure he'd like to rethink that one again, knowing there's a three-point at stake.
So far, Whitehead, no points and 2 fouls. On the baseline, Bates. And Austin Bates, he continues to have the hot hand. 9 points. He scored a double figures the last 3 games. Lumpkin, the drive and pitch. Nobody there, however.
He was anticipating Williams, who was standing right at his right, to slide further toward the baseline, and he didn't, and Williams didn't move.
That's a play that probably his buddy Lenny Brown would have made instinctively, because they played with each other for so many years, going back to 7th grade.
Yeah, that is definitely a play that happens with a guy you know well.
Nice defensive recovery by Darnell Williams for the steal. Anderson thought about it, passed it up. Probably a smart play. Williams won't. Rebound to Spoutro. And a whistle and foul.
I'll tell you who's getting a workout here. The officials. I'm telling you.
You got to be in shape, man.
They have to be. They don't have much choice here. This game puts so much pressure on them just to get up and down.
So the foul called on Posey. That's his first. There's a weave. Maddox. Right hand dribble. Got around the corner to the basket. Too much on it. Braggs. Inside. Posey. Off the glass, and the shooters roll.
Well, he's got a feel for it, but essentially the official is going to have to get Posey to put his shirt in.
4 points. Off the turnover. He's got 6. 28-24 Xavier. Maddox picking up his dribble. Whitehead. Inside, had it knocked away. Taken away by Anderson. Here come the Musketeers with numbers. Braggs, nice catch.
I'll tell you what, you're right about Braggs. It was a nice catch, but he's got some soft hands. To be moving at that size, as big as he is, and make that kind of play, he's about 6'8" and 220. But I'm telling you, he's got bulk, and sometimes guys that big can't move their hands. I mean, right here, this one will come back to James Posey, so he'll get a chance to go in and get a finish, and then the ball got pushed up, and just a swipe again.
And one thing Coach Prosser talked about yesterday, as we had a chance, Quinn, to observe him, every time they ran a drill, the most important thing for him was, let's do it faster, let's do it faster. He kept telling his bunch to speed up the pace.
And that was to engage in their mind. That's what they want to do tonight. Speed it up, speed it up, speed it up.
Prosser, the Mid-East Coach of the Year this season. Almost another steal, but Anderson caught for the reach-in.
I mean, Brown just got right in Sherman Anderson's face, and told him, don't do that. Because he knows that they had him trapped right there. You don't need to foul him. And I mean, he got right in his face. And the interesting thing about that is Anderson is the senior. Brown's a sophomore and took it.
But it's obvious who the leader is.
Without a doubt.
Prater misses the free throw. That was the 17th foul called against.
Oh, good find.
With Brown, and he just knocks it down from long range.
I'm telling you, that's such a good find, and the reason it was because he didn't turn his head until he made the pass, so the defense was slow to recover. If he turns quicker, the defense recognizes that's the direction he wants to go.
32-24. Maddox inside, recovered by DeSpaltro and put in.
Well, that was a find. It was a gold mine as far as Vanderbilt's concerned.
Billy's father played it, Holy Cross, off the glass, Braggs. Great touch there.
Prayer. And he turned, he almost got the shot blocked.
(34-26).
Good job,
Xavier.
I'm sorry, good job here by Atiba. You see it on a 10-2 run, and the reason it's a good job is they've taken their time.
Rejected by Posey. And Anderson will slow things down a bit in the half-court set. Stolen by Bates as they tried to feed Braggs.
For the third time.
Bates at the other end.
And I'll tell you what, Braggs is tired. I saw him, he was loafing a little bit to get back, and Bates rushed out after he got the steal.
11 first-half points for Austin Bates, the junior from Waverly, Tennessee. His fourth straight game in double figures at 16 against Ole Miss in the SEC tournament. Inside, another turnover. 10 turnovers now. Bates trying to play wide receiver, couldn't hang on to that one. Here's Lenny Brown. Oh, crossing over to the basket. Nice look.
But the catch, because the ball was thrown down at Posey's knees, and he caught it and was able to still stay under control.
What a fun tempo to watch here. Both of these teams, no problems going right at each other.
Vanderbilt is really competing in this, because I still think they want to play it at a pace that's a little more involved with some set plays as opposed to running up and down the court. And they're just competing because that's the only choice they have.
Maddox trying to look for Whitehead inside, knocked out of bounds. And Vandy will hold on to it. 1:46 to play. They trail by 8. Xavier shooting close to 60%, 57% right now, 16 of 28, and they are on an 18-8 run. Now Cincinnati won earlier today. They will take on Iowa State on Saturday, and we will be here.
And that'll be a good game.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. I don't think it'll get up and down like this one is getting up and down.
Oh, I tell you.
Because this has all the energy, the drive, the sprinting that you want. You get in shape just watching this. Well, that's a thought anyway.
It'll be interesting to see Kelvin Cato and Danny Fortson go at it on Saturday. The great shot blocker and the great low post player for Cincinnati. Anderson a steal inside. Nice between the legs. Williams with the finish.
Oh, he had it set up all the time waiting on him to get there and just dropped it between his legs and stole it. Anderson.
And a steal. Knocked out of bounds, and Xavier will keep it. Watch this play.
Oh, he had it set up the whole time. He can feel him coming. Set him up, took the man out. And then a nice little finish. Both he and Williams both liked it.
38-28. T.J. Johnson. They get it back. Bounce pass inside to the basket. No good.
Yeah, he was
Posey
short.
couldn't get it up.
He was short of traveling, too. He almost came down with the ball. Defense collapsed on him so well.
Vandy averages 15 turnovers per game. Already they have 12.
And of those 12, Xavier has 11 points. So they've been able to convert on the turnovers.
Maddox too strong. Backside rebound. Whitehead goes up and is fouled. 56.1 seconds remaining. Now coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Jimmy Nance and Clark Kellogg will get you updated on all the tournament news, all the scores and highlights, plus a live look at all the action going on in the NCAA tournament. That's all coming up on Pennzoil at the half. It'll be interesting to see what Clark has to say. He's a former Big Ten player playing at Ohio State, and I'm sure he really likes this pace as they go up and down.
Let me tell you, if this team is from Ohio, where Clark is from, he loves Xavier. I'm telling you, as a fact, he loves this.
How about this? Fairfield trying to become the first 16 seed to ever upset a #1 seed. And what an upset it would be today against Dean Smith as he goes after history. Win number 876 to tie Adolph Rupp.
Yes, Gus, I suspect part of the reason that game Fairfield is like that was Carolina. I'll give Fairfield credit, but the Carolina players are probably a little bit caught up in all of the accolades here going on with Coach Dean Smith and haven't been able to focus. But Fairfield doesn't get here unless they can play.
They're up by 9 now. Fairfield. Here's Williams. Fairfield finished last in their conference this season, won the conference tournament. They had a number of injuries, and they were the preseason favorite to win their conference. Here's Prater. Maddox. Quick release, and he just knocked it down.
He also picked Anderson's pocket.
Almost a steal there. Under 10 seconds to play here in the first half, 38-33. Xavier will play for one shot, 2 to go. Posey. And that is the end of the first half of play. Xavier will head into the locker room with a 38-33 lead. However, Jan Van Bredikoff's Commodores managed to weather the storm, and they keep it close, trailing by only 5. Vandy scored the last 5 points of the half. And that is the end of the first half. Once again, the score. Xavier on top, 38-33. Jim Nance and Clark Kellogg will be along with Pennzoil at the half after this.
Paul Cormier, the Fairfield coach. The Stags leading Carolina by 7 at halftime.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the half, sponsored by Pennzoil, the first motor oil to fully meet the new, tougher GF2 standard.
11 and 18 in the tournament, and Jim Nance, Clark Kellogg here in New York. I've heard it all week. Should the little guys still stay in the tournament? This is why you keep the little conference represented in the NCAA tournament.
Without question, you do it between the lines, and Fairfield has gotten off to a great start, executing their half-court offense, taking opportunities in the open court, shooting a high percentage, and playing even on the backboard so far.
So it's a 7-point lead for the Stags, and just a moment ago, our Andrea Joyce talked with Paul Cormier, the head coach of Fairfield, as they headed to the locker room.
Coach, I know you didn't expect to be doing this kind of interview at halftime. How have you managed to keep North Carolina off balance?
Well, we're taking advantage offensively. We're answering. I didn't know if we could score as well as we have so far. I'm sure there's going to be some adjustments made from their end, but we've been answering, so we've been doing okay, and we've been keeping them off from getting second shots. I think that's been the key.
Pretty heady experience for your young team. What do you tell your kids in the locker room?
Well, we'll calm them down right now and come out and try to execute exactly the same way.
Good luck in the second half.
You know, Clark, I keep thinking about 1994 when Carolina was a 1 seed and played Liberty in the first round. Liberty was down 6 at the halftime, but then took the lead with 10 minutes to go before Carolina routed them by 20. What about Fairfield staying in this game in the second half? They're leading by 7.
Well, they've got to continue to rebound the ball, and they've got to execute, but you would expect North Carolina to step it up defensively and try to attack them inside where they've got a size advantage.
All right, Clark, also at halftime, and Xavier against Vanderbilt, and that score 38-33. The Musketeers, the 7 seed, leading by 5. All right, let's continue here with a look at this one. College of Charleston with that 22-game win streak, leading Maryland out of the ACC by 5. 1:40 to go in the first half. And let's pick up the action with Tim Ryan and Al McGuire.
A 5-point lead for Charleston with 1:20.
The NCAA tournament will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
never had things. The coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Genuine Chevrolet, Burger King, Merrill Lynch, and by Nike.
CLUKE.
And welcome back to the Palace here in Auburn Hills, Michigan, where at halftime Xavier leads Vanderbilt 38-33. Gus Johnson along with Quinn Buckner and Xavier, they shoot 54% in the first half, only leading by 5. And for Vanderbilt, their best player, only 2 points, Pax Whitehead.
Yeah, but I think for Vanderbilt, I would still be somewhat concerned because you got 12 turnovers. They only average like 15 a game. So you're looking at right now getting yourself in a game pace that you don't like. That is the real issue for Vanderbilt, getting the pace under control. As you see, the shooting has been something that Vanderbilt has actually done well from the three-point side. Xavier hadn't made any. So you have to assume that Xavier started making three-point shots. I tell you, this is like all games tempo, but more importantly, you want the game to be your style. Right now, it is not Vanderbilt's style of play.
And for the Commodores, Austin Bates with 11 first-half points, 4 of 8 from the field. Drew Maddox also 11 points, 4 of 10. But the important numbers, Pax Whitehead 0 for 3 from the field, only 2 points, and he is the leading scorer on this team with close to 16 per game. So Vandy will get the ball to start the second half. Howard Pride, the senior, out of Huntsville, Alabama, the point guard. And Tiva Prater will be coming in shortly. Inside, here's DeSpaltro trying to find some room. Tipped up and finally recovered by T.J. Johnson. Ahead to Brown.
Again, David just pushes it up to get you back on your heels, and then they'll find the areas. And they just keep probing and probing. Coming out, Vandy's in the man-to-man.
Inside, nice backdoor cut to Lenny Brown. 40-33 now. Brown in the first half, 7 points. Now he has 9. Howard Pride with Lumpkin on him.
This is where these two, I think, are so good, Brown and Lumpkin, because they can guard so well out front. And I think anytime you want to destroy or upset an offense, it has to be from the guard position because it forces your offense to have to come out further. See, right here, Brown will be coming on the layup. Just a nice pass inside. Stuck behind the defense. Brown making his presence felt early after getting the 2 quick fouls in the first half.
Maddox, air ball.
They got numbers.
Here's Lumpkin, 3-on-2. Lumpkin, bounce pass inside, flags. No good.
Pass was a little late. If Lumpkin had given the pass early, he's been able to step into it. Without it, he struggled.
Drags too far under the basket. And a whistle on the baseline. That'll go against Gary Lumpkin. And don't forget, near the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we will select a genuine Chevrolet most valuable player of the game from each team. To date, Chevrolet has contributed almost $6.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. So Howard Pride, 6'3", senior. Pretty good baseball player coming out of high school, drafted as a center fielder by the California Angels. As you see his numbers, decided not to pursue baseball at Vanderbilt. Wanted to work on basketball. Offensive rebound, Bates inside for the foul.
You see Bates' value. He will get in and root around and try to come up with baskets. He's played some pretty solid defense also down on Braggs.
He's got 13. Lenny Brown stripped. And we'll stay right here.
He got stripped by Bates, though. So, again, Bates making his presence felt. Skip Prosser wanted a foul on that one.
And Bates playing in the low post, missed a little time in the first half, suffered a cut over his eye. Inside, Williams leaving his feet. And one.
And that's exactly what the young kids today like to say, and one. That was an and one. Williams doing a good job. Darnell did pushing the ball into the teeth of the defense, and no one closed it off of Vanderbilt. Watch, he gets the ball and goes right there. You see some reaching going on, but nobody made a real effort to get in there and cut off the angle. And on that particular play, it looked like it was Pride. And if you're the point guard, that you have to be willing to risk yourself so your teammates don't have a problem with that one.
Rebound Braggs, and he comes up short. 2 minutes into the second half, 42-36. Vandy trailed by 5 at halftime. Pride will go to the other side. T.J. Johnson doing a good job popping out, preventing the guards from getting around.
But you see how far Pax had to get the ball? See, that's the difference in that pass. Two-hand chest pass.
Outlet. Inside, and what a play.
Big
by
time
Williams.
Darnell Williams is a scorer. He is an explosive scorer that slashes, has good jumping ability, and that's how he makes that one.
Sophomore out of Brooklyn. 5 players averaging double figures on the Xavier team. Here's Pride. Short. Ahead, Lenny Brown with Maddox. Lenny Brown downtown. Xavier trying to blow this thing open.
Yeah, and this is a good 20-second timeout by Jan Van Bredekraft, because his team was starting to take quick shots, which means no one was in position to get rebounds. And if they're not in position, that's when you get the runbacks by Xavier. Right here, T.J. Johnson makes a two-handed over-the-head pass, gets it right here. Now watch Williams again. He'll draw the contact if he has to. Still able to get a touch to get it up. And then here was a quick shot by Pride. Brown gets it out. Maddox tries to get back. Brown just lays it right over the rim. Yeah, and this is after the timeout. This is some exuberance by Brown, who knows or feels his team should have been able to do this in the first half. And I'm sure he hopes to continue it.
And this Xavier team, a chance to go very far in the tournament this season, but the future is very bright for them. They're one of 3 teams in the nation in the top 25 with no seniors among their top 6 players. Indiana, Arizona. The other 2, Michigan, when they were ranked in the top 25, they were also part of that group.
Take a look at that Carolina score. It looks like Carolina settled down after the halftime. And Maryland in the dog fight. And Kentucky is whizzing.
Lumpkin. Scramble for the ball. Bodies on the floor. They shovel it ahead to Maddox, and he'll lay it in. Good play by Atiba Prater.
Well, it was a good play just to get down on the floor, because when you play Xavier's team, you need to do that, because the Xavier players, they're quick to the ball, and they're normally able to get it and advance it if you don't get a hand on it.
Maddox, his father played at Vandy. His grandfather played at Vandy. He had season tickets, Quinn, at 9 months old.
Well, there was no question he was going to have season tickets to it. You see just the effort here, coming to try to get it. Going on the floor is Williams. And then the ball is just scooped up, and Maddox is a beneficiary of a nice heady play. Just to throw it up there, knock it up there, as opposed to trying to grab it and do it, because the defense has gotten back to Xavier.
And the turnover situation, 13-11. Make it 14. Here's Lumpkin. Jump stop from the elbow. Short. Tipped up and in.
Soft hands
James
by
Posey.
I mean, that's soft hand. I mean, he was under the rim. The shot goes up. I didn't think he was going to ever get to it.
And Gary Lumpkin will be called as he tried to poke it out from behind. 15 minutes, 43 seconds to go here in the second half. 10-point lead for the Musketeers. Tournament summary on the first day. The Big East and Big 12 both doing well, 2-0. St. Joseph's, they pick up their first tournament win since '86. And Kelvin Cato, what a game against Illinois State. 29 points along with 12 rebounds and 9 block shots. But probably the most interesting statistic, Fairfield, North Carolina tied. That's a 1 versus a 16. But if Fairfield were to somehow win that game and go on to win the NCAA tournament, Quinn, they would still finish under 500.
You say Quinn, now wouldn't you? Yeah, okay, that's a fact.
They're 11-18 right now. You never know.
See, this pressure is relentless that Xavier puts on. I mean, it's from every angle.
Whitehead, still quiet offensively, throws it at the basket to Speltro. And he's Pack going to the hole.
Whitehead took a tough shot. Braggs was trying to keep DeSpaltro from getting the ball in the basket. And it's not necessarily a bad foul. I mean, you whack him, but DeSpaltro can make shots. Foul shots. He's a 77% foul shooter.
So DeSpaltro at the free throw line as Jan Van Bredekoff looks on. His father, Butch, longtime college and professional head coach, coached at Princeton, also the LA Lakers. But a question for you, Quinn. Pax Whitehead 0 for 4 from the field, and when you're struggling with your shot, what do you do right now to get into this game?
He tried to do it. It's go to the basket because you need to get to the foul line, and that's what it looked like he was trying to do. But what happened was the quickness of Xavier cut him off before he could get into a real fluid shot motion and draw the foul. So he ended up taking it off stride and took a bad shot.
Whitehead, a very good student, and we get an offensive foul called against T.J. Johnson.
And Johnson had his position in the post, and I thought he had actually made a good move, but instead he picks up his third foul. There's some contact in there, and I think DeSpaltro did a good job bringing the attention of the officials to that contact.
Here's Whitehead to the basket, leads in, still can't get one to fall for him.
Yeah, he's struggling big time. But Maddox defensively has been strong.
Maddox will look for him on the break, and he does to the hole, and he's fouled. You had a feeling that Maddox was going to try to get his best player involved and get him an easy chippy basket.
Yeah, because he had an option. He could have gone either left or right, and he wisely went right because that's where Whitehead was, on his right side, because he knows he needs him involved in the game.
So Pax Whitehead with 2 points steps to the free throw line. Academic All-SEC. Has a great understanding of the game. Great cerebral approach to basketball. Probably the best student of the game on this team.
Well, he's had some time to do that. One of the things, that particularly as it is with Jan Van Bredekoff, he's with Jan when Jan was at Cornell. So, you know, he understands what he needs, and I think that helps both of them. Neither one of those shots had a chance. First of all, they'll tell you if you don't get it over the rim, it has no shot. The first one barely touched the rim.
Misses a pair. 48-39. Johnson double team, turns it over. Ahead, Maddox. Bounce pass, great look to Bates, and he'll go up and under for the layup.
And it was a finish that was strong because Williams had the angle, had he gone up to the left side, and Bates brought it over to the right side where the rim would protect from the block.
15 now for Bates. Prater got a hand on it. Lumpkin, pump fake, and the roll. I mean, Brown.
Look at them. I mean, they just jumped right back into it. I mean, Maddox does a really good job. This is after the steal where he just picked the pocket of Lumpkin, and then again the smart play by Bates to bring it over to the other side. And you can see Posey trying to get it. And now watch, they get right back in it. And look, Brown comes up and tries to come up with that steal.
So here's Prater. Bring the ball up the floor. They try to double team him. Whitehead to Maddox. Looks cross court. Bates on the baseline. The soft touch.
Yeah, he's got a soft touch for a guy that bangs as much as he does. And a pass here.
Williams.
Come at it, young fella.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you, that was a big time. Out of nowhere, that one's going to the glass. And if it's going to the glass and coming down, that might have been goaltending. But at any rate, the officials didn't call it.
And there's his father, Frank, who played at Holy Cross, also is a renowned plastic surgeon.
And the holdup we have is Sherwin Anderson has lost the contact lane. He lost it earlier and was trying to get the official to stop. He probably needs a mirror to get it back in, but that's what the process is. I mean, this is what the holdup is. Now Williams takes it to the basket. It looks like this may have been coming down. Yeah, I think that one's at a point it's coming down. but the officials didn't see it that way. And the dad with the glasses.
Denny Brown on the baseline, got up and under, followed by Braggs, no good. Posey won't miss on the finish. Ahead to Spaltro. And a whistle and foul.
Spaltro is the best athlete on the team, and he tried to make a play, but I tell you, Braggs makes a heck of a play to come and recover, to get his hands on it, and Spaltro just tried to recover.
Second team foul called against Vanderbilt. So Anderson takes a look at the defense. Looks like a box and one they're playing right now.
Yeah, it's a box and one, and they got the one on Brown.
Braggs, double team, hooked his man, and a foul. Teddy Valentine caught him hooking on the baseline, and he called it. That's a play that you see a lot now, usually in the NBA, but in college basketball as well.
Well, he got his arm around a defender, and anytime you use your arm as a something to get yourself an advantage, then they call the foul. And what Skip Prosser knows is that's the fourth foul on Bragg, and he needed Bragg in there because he's such a big body and was doing so well for them.
.13:03 to play, 52-43. Fairfield still leading North Carolina, 13-17 to go. And the College of Charleston now trailing Maryland. In the corner, Whitehead. Spaltro hustles down the rebound. They'll get a new 35.
Some of the fans were looking for a travel, but Spaltro does. I thought he did a great job finishing that one down.
Prater inside, Bates. And we'll get a foul away from the basketball. Posey and Billy Spaltro got tied up.
And he gave him a forearm. He gave him a good shiver is what he did. And Jan Vedin was trying to plead the case, but at this point the official was standing right there and saw it.
And Spaltro picking up his third foul. He will be replaced by Dan Lange.
You lose a little bit of that, well, actually more than a little bit. A lot of athletic ability and definitely some size from shoulder to shoulder when you make this kind of exchange. Now, Lange needs to use his arms and then be in good position to help out.
Lange, true freshman, committed to Connecticut, but then changed his mind, wanted to stay closer to home, and decided on Vanderbilt. It's out of Benton, Kentucky. Air ball. Snatched down by Johnson, and a whistle. That'll be Bates with the foul, his second. Fourth team foul called against Vanderbilt. Inside.
Got to get to him.
And Whitehead comes up with the rebound. Williams short.
Well, that's normally the shot he makes because he'll double clutch it to force you to think about blocking it. He gets an easy shot in there.
Bad decision there by Atiba Prater, the freshman. Ahead. Posey. Nice look on the baseline. Williams, and a foul.
They had their two best scorers, I think, in Posey and Williams from the wing position on that particular play. Offensively, Skip Prosser to think nothing but good is coming out of that.
So Prater picks up his first foul, and his parents are watching this game. Atiba Prater's with a lot of interest. Leonard and Quinoda both attended Xavier. And there they are, Mr. and Mrs.
They kind of
Prater.
like that.
They attended Vanderbilt, and there's no question, Xavier rather, and there's no question who they are rooting for, and that is their son, the Commodores, against Xavier.
Well, he's been good coming off the bench. He's a guy that will just score. He will just pop it. I like the way he gets into the big trees and tries to take down the limb as he gets a basket.
11:44 to play, 54-45. And the game summary so far. Xavier shooting 53%. They shot 54% in the first half. And right now they're out rebounding Vandy. And the story for the Commodores, their best player, Pax Whitehead, has really struggled shooting the ball, only 2 points.
He's been hounded by the defensive pressure of the Musketeers, and he really hadn't, and I'm talking about Pax Whitehead, really hadn't been able to get a wide open look. He had one look in the first half early, and since then they've run people at him, and he's had trouble finishing plays. And he's actually one of the better finishers that Vanderbilt has on their team.
Here's Lange, a freshman, 6'10", dribbling the ball in the backcourt. Whitehead up, and finally, Pax Whitehead, his first field goal. And that makes it a 54-47 game.
Well, that may be the one that gives him some confidence. And Bates just took a shot. And yeah, at Anderson as he was going through the lane, and the official was looking right at it, and they may just give a foul call against him.
So Bates picking up his third foul, sixth team foul called against Vandy. Trying to keep this one close. Xavier has not really been able to just pull away from them. Their largest lead, 10 inside. Tapped out. Williams, left-hand roller. Rebound Johnson, up and in.
They hounded the glass on that one. They pounded it, hounded it. They wanted it. And Vanderbilt tried to get there, got there late. The pass inside to Johnson, who gets one partially blocked there by Bates. Williams tries to go to the left and missed it short. And you see Johnson get it, and Maddox fouled him on the way up.
Johnson with 2 points, making 4 points rather. Tri-captain on this team has started 75 straight games. 56-47. High pick and roll for Prater. He'll get it back to Lange. Brown got a hand on it. Whitehead on the baseline. Lost the handle.
And it was a good no call by the official because Brown went down and the official was going to let them play, but Whitehead ended up losing the ball.
Hesitation. Lumpkin inside. Great deal. But Johnson can't get the lefty finger roll to go in.
And they are on TJ because he's got to finish that play. He went to the left hand where he needed to go, and he just didn't explode to the basket at the end.
So Lange takes a seat. Spaltro back in the game now. Playing with 3 fouls. 10:49 to go. 56-47. Prater. Trying to dribble away from the double team. Gets it to Whitehead. Pulls up. 14-footer, and he got a bounce.
Yeah, the layup was the one that got him confidence, and that's a shooter's touch from there. He gets it in that area. He'll take the shot and feel comfortable.
Lenny Brown. Offensive rebound. Johnson. 5 rebounds now for him. They look cross court. Brown spinning inside. Whitehead with the clear. Here's Prater, 3-pointer. And the freshman knocking down the big shot. Here comes Vandy trailing by 4. And a timeout called by the Musketeers.
You know, time and time again, teams will make a run. Nobody got back, and Prater's able to take a dribble, come out of a set shot, and you see now in the screen are 5 Musketeers. But there was really no pressure at all from him for him not to make the shot. Vandy, again, has done a good job staying in the control. I'm sure all of the Vanderbilt clan are extremely pleased that he's able to get that going as you look at mom and dad right there. Jan Van Bredekoff, one of the very good, and we were talking earlier about the great, very good, solid young coaches. Van Bredekoff is one of the solid coaches, because one of the things he's gotten Vanderbilt to do, they play really hard, and they've been able to play at a high level here since he's not only tonight, but since he's been at Vanderbilt.
And one thing you have to notice is their poise. Got down by 10, never panicked. They've seen this before, playing in the tough SEC, and they are right back into this basketball game.
The Jam was like that as a player.
8 on the shot clock. Lenny Brown. Whenever they need a big shot, they always go to Lenny Brown.
Yeah, and he makes the play, and he was going to try to get the foul on Dispatro, but it wisely at the last minute just decided to take the shot.
Maddox.
Oh, Maddox can get it going. He's got his elbow flies outside sometimes, but by the time he lets it go, everything is in rhythm.
Almost a steal. Maddox overplaying. Lumpkin got a step closer. And the offensive rebound goes to Posey. Here's Posey. Baseline. No call. Williams.
Whoa!
Up and under and in.
He takes one step from almost foul line extended and goes with it.
16 points for Williams.
You see Lumpkin is staying a little closer to Maddox after that three.
5-point lead for Xavier. Lobbed inside. This bounce throw, and he threw it over his head.
I mean, you get a chance to see what this is a heck of a move. I mean, Posey throws. Now, this is one step. Well, look where he is. And that's not traveling. He just takes a step to the basket and is able to go up and has enough height that he can come down to avoid the block.
Wonderful athlete.
Particularly when he sees the chance to score. I mean, he's got kind of that mentality, which is fine if the team, if that's what they've got him.
Sophomore out of Twinsburg, Ohio. Lumpkin. Williams got the screen, had it stripped, recovered, floater to the basket, knocked out of bounds, and Vanderbilt gets the basketball back.
Yeah, actually, it goes to Vandy because they call it he hit the ball, but the shot never hit the rim, so it was going to be a shot clock violation.
7:52 to go. Vanderbilt refusing to go away. They trail by 5. So a big battle brewing here at the Palace between the Commodores and the Musketeers. A little Karate Kid action there by the Musketeer. Crane.
The 1-2-2 zone that Vanderbilt is facing right now.
And some other scores. Fairfield sticking with North Carolina. Down 61-59, 6:32 to play. It's anybody's game right now.
And Maryland is getting it by getting it from College of Charleston. They're down 9.
Vandy down by 5 to Xavier. Maddox. That's an air ball. Maybe a little bit out of his range.
Well, it was a little bit quick because though the shot clock was down, he still had 4 seconds. So you have a chance to at least advance the ball or do something else instead of just pulling up. But he's been making shots, so it's hard to blame him.
Braggs. Power dribble. Left hand. Bates with the rebound. Ahead. Whitehead one-on-one. Cut off and dribbled it off his foot.
That was great defense because Whitehead had him when he was attacking him, and then all of a sudden he decided to divert and go one way or the other, and the defense was solid. Eventually, Whitehead dribbled the ball right off his foot.
Really a frustrating outing so far for Pax Whitehead. Braggs facing the basket. In the corner, Johnson, skip pass, Lumpkin. He'll let it fly and hit.
And another tough pass. The skip pass has been what's good. Braggs did it in the first half where he skipped it really quickly to the other side. That time Williams just threw it, skipped it right over the top. Lumpkin waiting for it at the three-point line. 9
points for Lumpkin. Averages 15. 63-55, approaching the 6-minute mark. The baseline, Bates. Diagonal pass. Prater. The freshman starting to hit the big shot.
Oh, and I mean, really confident when he strokes it, too. From the time he gets it going, I mean, it gets in his hand. He knows he's got something good happening.
He's got 11, 63-58. In the corner, Posey, and the rebound going to Prater, the freshman.
He called timeout.
And he got a timeout. Great play. Looked like Prater was falling backwards and getting ready to travel with the basketball.
No, he was definitely about to travel with the ball. So he made a good call because he got trapped and had nowhere to go with it because he had the baseline on one side and 2 Musketeers keeping him from going forward. He makes a great rebound because he gets it from Posey. You see right here. And he realizes he's losing his balance and about to travel. And he was able to get a timeout call before he dropped the ball because he has to have possession when he makes the call for time.
And Quinn, when you look at college basketball today, have you seen players maturing in terms of making decisions on the floor? Years ago, would they have made timeout decisions? Are they maturing in terms of being students of the game?
I don't know if they've necessarily matured. I think that one particular play is one we see a great deal more of. I'm not sure I'm in total agreement with it, but it's a possession. And late in the game, to save a possession, I don't have a problem with it. But early, you use up timeouts. The good thing about it is you can use a 20-second for the most part.
Xavier and Vanderbilt, 63-58. The third game here in the Midwest region. And the winner will face the winner of UCLA, and
Spaltro just picked up another foul. Just picked up, I think, his 5th foul. I mean, they go at it on both sides. You see Johnson and Spaltro going forward here. And look at him. He just locks him and drops him on the ground, and the official gives no call. And that's why he kind of lets that one go, because he felt at first Johnson may have gotten some position. And on the other end, Spaltro just comes in late. Thought he had a steal. Instead, he picks up a foul.
And the winner of this game will play the winner of UCLA, Charleston Southern, which is to follow this game. So Spaltro fouls out with 5 points. Xavier came into this game 22-5. Vandy 19-11. They finished 9-7 in the SEC. Xavier finished 13-3 in the Atlantic 10.
But the Atlantic 10, I mean, you don't want to compare necessarily the competition, but the Atlantic 10 got 5 teams in this year. I mean, when you think about it, Rhode Island, St. Joe's, Temple, Xavier, and UMass. So it came a long way. And, you know, they're the pundits that look at it and said it got this year more than the Big East, which says that it's made some significant strides. And I'd have to say it's made some strides, even though I'd have to say the Big East lost a lot with the draft this past year. So there was a lot in terms of graduation. But
Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, both going to the NBA.
Travis Knight. I mean, you can go down the list and pick 2 or 3 other guys that have made some contribution somewhere at the next level, or at least have just graduated.
65-58.
This is where Vanderbilt wants to go. See, they'll play this kind of game because their quickness will make it happen.
Watch this. Posey leaving his feet.
Yeah, see, they've got quickness that covers lanes, so if you start slowing it up, these guys can start timing it from Xavier.
Maddox, bounce pass on the baseline, Bates, and a foul.
We get a chance after making a heck of a play. It was Posey.
And take a listen to him going to the basket.
Does that mean it hurt? I mean, for the life of me, I can't understand why the kids scream when they dunk the ball. But Braggs just fouled out while we're talking about it. You take a look at Posey. Braggs gave him some inside play early. Good passes. 9.7 rebounds. But Posey, they've got a good offensive player. I mean, both he and Williams.
Interesting story told to me by Bob Huggins of Cincinnati. One of his players in a game dunked the ball and yelled like that. And after the game, Oscar Robertson, who was the great Cincinnati player and great NBA player, cornered the kid after the game and asked him, he said, "Son, have you ever dunked the ball before?" And the kid said, "Of course I've dunked the ball before." And then Oscar once again said, "Wait a minute, no, seriously, have you ever dunked the ball before?" And the kid said, "Of course I've dunked the ball before." And Oscar said, "Well, then act like you've dunked it before."
That's a whole different thought process than what's going on around today. Because you saw the quickness of Lumpkin take that one in.
69-58. 11 points now for Lumpkin.
There's one thing for certain about Xavier. They at no point in this game played at the least bit frightened. At no point.
Whitehead popping out on the left wing. Here's Lange. Prater. Almost a steal. 11-point lead. Maddox.
Posey gets that one just by getting his hands on it, because it looked like that was going back to Vanderbilt.
Approaching the 3-minute mark, Xavier comfortably in control. Their biggest lead of the game.
Sorry, Gus. And Xavier has the kind of team that when they want to hold it for a shot, they can always do that, because they can go to either Brown or Lumpkin to make a play out of it. Just like that.
Finds his buddy Lumpkin. Johnson at position. Whitehead had to go over the back, knocked out of bounds, and Vanderbilt will get it back. 2 minutes, 43 seconds to go. Xavier trying to head to the next round. 11-point lead for Xavier, 2:43 to go. And Xavier's pressure causing a lot of problems.
Yeah, you can see they're only 3 away from tying the tournament record of 19. That record by the UConn Huskies of 1990 and Providence of 1987. Those two have tied for that 19. And Xavier, boy, I'm telling you, they've been fun to watch, but they put a lot of pressure on you. So if you can't keep yourself, the tough part is what happens in a game like this. You can make the decision, but to go from decision to execution has to be so much faster in the game. And if you haven't practiced it, you have a tough time doing that. And that has been a part of what I think Vanderbilt has struggled with.
Whitehead inside draws the foul. And other scores, Carolina finally pulling away. However, the score's still close, 76-71. 40 seconds to go. College of Charleston beating Maryland by 10. Kentucky blowing by Montana. A scary, scary affair for Tar Heel fans playing in Winston-Salem, about 50 miles away from their campus.
Take a look at
7.6 rebounds for Whitehead, and make it 8. Vanderbilt trailing now by 9, 2:26 to play. Lenny Brown triple team, got it away to Lumpkin, and he'll push it up the floor.
See, when you got guards like they've got, they can bring it back out and run anything they want to run with it. A little bit more of a man-to-man here by Vanderbilt. They'll come out and trap just to try to create some kind of turmoil here.
Lumpkin. That may be it. 72-60.
Well, it gives them a nice comfort level, but I would say a couple more threes made by Vandy, it might be a little bit different.
Lange rebound inside, and he got it.
They were trying to get a 20-second timeout. but Maddox threw the ball before he threw it into T.J. Johnson.
And the executive producer of CBS Sports is Rick Gentile. The coordinating producer of NCAA basketball is Bob Dekas. Today's game was produced by Bob Monsbach and directed by Larry Cavallina. The coordinating producer of The Road to the Final Four is Eric Mann. The Road to the Final Four was produced by David Winter and directed by Bob Matina. And the associate director of today's game is Ken Mack.
Cincinnati's on.
The broadcast associate is Mitch Rubenstein.
We're going to break into your game for a moment to take you to the finish of North Carolina and Fairfield in Winston-Salem. Let's listen in with Sean and Bill.
Fairfield foul, number 35, Shannon Bowman, has his third 17 foul.
Williams, an excellent free throw shooter. 82% for the year.
And Sean, Cota and Williams, 17 assists and no turnovers. You mentioned 2 turnovers for Carolina. How about that for your guards? Get into the right spot.
Imagine being the #1 seed, committing 2 turnovers the entire game as a team, playing the 16 seed, and you're leading by only 5 with 37 seconds to go.
Well, it tells you how you mentioned shortening the game. I think Fairfield's done a nice job controlling tempo, getting some good shots. The threes kept them alive. Then Dean stepped out, played that. All of a sudden, Bowman contributed inside.
Both teams in the bonus. No timeouts left for Fairfield, and the arrow working in favor of North Carolina. Dean Smith inching closer to tying 8-all drop for the all-time victory mark.
Now Williams, ACC MVP, stepping up big time with the free throws.
Fairfield needs shots quickly. Francis out to Commodore. Already used more than 15 seconds on this possession, and a Jukin. The tip wouldn't go. Rebound for Carter, and North Carolina is going to survive and win its first round game for the 17th straight year.
Well, Dean Smith didn't want to talk about it. Everybody humming in this part of the country, as well as the basketball world, shrugs off all the praise, attributes it to wonderful players and their contributions.
62 of the wins in the NCAA tournament with this victory tonight. More NCAA wins than any other coach.
And here's the play I thought that sort of sealed it. Zwicker, not known for activity, the good sprint to the open space, the response by Cota. 10 of those assists. Well, those people who get a chance to know him, one of the great competitors. You would not want to play golf with him, incidentally. He plays by the rules. Gets after it, and just like his team, very competitive. All the drills are orchestrated, they're rated. The game tape is looked at. The pluses and minuses registered. If you rate out higher, you start.
And Jukin is fouled out with 6 points and 7 rebounds. Carter now with 22 points. And we're 14 seconds away from history. Francis, another three, is 8th of the night. Under 10 seconds to go. Fairfield, without any timeouts, commits the quick foul. Francis hit Williams. And finally, a relaxed smile for the first time tonight on the face of Dean Smith.
Well, courage displays itself in different ways. Sometimes it's preparation. Sometimes it's a guy diving and offering it up for his alma mater. But Fairfield gave Dean Smith and his group everything they possibly could. Understood what it was about, how meaningful each trip would be, what they wanted to do with the basketball, how they wanted to guard, what they were going to do defensively by getting back and coordinating in the painted area.
Chevrolet MVPs of the game are Greg Francis of Fairfield and Serge Zwicker. An outstanding second half, 16 of his 19 here in the second half. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund. Zwicker, a huge part of Dean Smith's record-tying night.
He sure was. That little handshake was with Ed Cota, and right away Dean started coaching. Thank you very much. You should have played that guy a little bit differently.
Well, Elijah knocked it away from Tice.
a valiant effort by Fairfield comes up short. 876 career victories for Dean Smith. There is not a coach in the history of college basketball who has won more games than that man. Even the Stag wanted to shake his hand. Record-setting night. Adolph Rupp, 876 and 190 in his career, and a huge hand for Coach Smith as he goes down the tunnel. Dean Smith, 876 victories, a few more losses along the way, 253. And Dean Smith will try to break the Rupp record on Saturday against the winner of Colorado, Indiana, still to come. Right now, let's send you back to the game that you were enjoying.
56.2 seconds to go. Xavier leading Vanderbilt 77-67. Congratulations to Coach Smith tying Adolph Rupp's record, and he will try to break the tie on Saturday either against Colorado or your alma mater, Indiana.
Well, yeah, that's the irony is I played for Coach Dean Smith. He was my coach on the Olympic team. And though you could see at that point and during the game, for those of you who saw that, Coach Smith is one who will not show you his emotions. But I guarantee you, you ask me, will it mean something? It means a great deal to Coach Smith. Those things, are, you know, like all of those kinds of accolades, they're very, very important. I mean, that's history. So I'm very proud to say that I had some part of touching it and playing for such a great human being and one heck of a coach.
During your time with Coach Smith, what one characteristic stood out?
Extremely patient. He has great patience.
.4 seconds to go. Xavier leading Vanderbilt 78-67, and it's been the pressure defense full court by the Musketeers. It's been the difference here. Also their ability to crash the offensive boards, get the ball ahead, cross-court pass. Lenny Brown will hold it, and they play keep away. And finally a foul. Austin Bates.
It's been as much the pressure of the offense as it has been the pressure of the defense, Gus. They've just pushed the ball at them so many times that Vanderbilt eventually just ran out of gas as you take a look at the brackets.
And Xavier will play the winner of UCLA Charleston Southern, which tips off at 9:57 Eastern Time here at the Palace of Auburn Hills, Michigan. First round action in the Midwest region. Winners earlier today, Iowa State over Illinois State. Big game for Kelvin Cato, 29 points. And also Cincinnati beating Butler. And our Chevrolet most valuable players of the game, Austin Bates for Vandy, 21 points, 7 rebounds. Darnell Williams, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to award outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. 25.6 seconds to go. The season coming to a close for the Commodores. They were looking for their 20th win of the season under Jan Van Bredikoff. They will finish at 19-12. However, for Xavier, they continue to play.
Well, for Jan Van Bredikoff, as I said, I think he's a coach that you got to look at. If you're looking at little coaches, you got to keep Jan Van Bredikoff in mind, because I think he's done a great job. He played against a team here that just had more speed on both sides of the basketball.
And that is your ball game. The Xavier Musketeers will advance to the second round as they go on to beat Vandy 80-68. They will play the winner of UCLA Charleston Southern. Final score once again 80-68. Now let's go to Jim Nantz in New York.
All right, an impressive, solid effort tonight by Xavier.